Hey guys!
Alright folks, we're here today to check out the latest video song from Orbit Culture, Vultures of North. Should be of the North, I would say.
No.
Vultures of North. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Vultures of the North does sound better.
Grammar-wise,
yeah.
I feel like the "the" is missing over there, but whatever. I'm not going to judge these Swedes. They're good folks. And right now, either they just started or they're getting started their North American tour, their first ever North American tour, in support of another great Swede band, also known as In Flames. Alright, if they come to a town nearby, don't fucking miss the show. Go to the show, pick up some tickets, go see this incredible lineup that also has Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah.
And while you're at it, try to book a haircut with Joe. I don't think he's doing it on... Fuck, that should be part of the VIP.
He should do that.
He should do that shit. I gotta talk to him. Fucking
he needs
do
to
that shit.
Haircuts on tour.
On tour.
Yeah.
Sign up for the haircut on tour. Like, have like a limit, like 3 or 4 per venue or whatever. I'll fucking go. For a beard trim.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I would go.
Yeah, you should. Fuck, I think he's missing a great opportunity. Anyhow, because he doesn't have to talk, so it's not like he would fuck up his voice or whatever. He's using his hands, so fucking do it. Alright, so Orbit Culture, Vultures of North. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's fucking do it. Let's rumble. This is so good. Alright. We're halfway there. There's more to come. when it comes to music videos, nobody even comes close to these guys. Nobody even comes close. Like they're in a league of their own.
They are.
Honestly, they're in a league of their own. All right. So what do you think about this Orbit Culture, Vultures of North?
Oh, I felt like a kick to the chest.
There's a lot to digest.
There's a lot to digest, yeah, but it did feel like a kick to the chest. I mean, even when it stopped there, it was like stopping for our sake. Like,
to allow us to get catch our breath a little.
Yeah, to like, I got the wind kicked out of me, and it's allowing me to like.
But you know what I liked about that
breathers.
pause there? I like the fact that it didn't come with a heavy breakdown because it's technically what perhaps everybody would be expecting.
Done, yeah.
And I think 9 out of 10 bands, 9.5 out of 10 bands would have came back with a breakdown there, like a really sick heavy breakdown. I'm glad that's not the way they went because why be like everybody else?
Exactly.
You're Orbit Culture. People should be like, try to be like you, not you try to be like everybody else. And this is a band that, man, if we could travel back in time, and look at the early start of Trivium, this band has like all the hallmarks of one day in the future be as big, if not bigger, than a Trivium. And that's my humble opinion. Because I stopped listening to Trivium. I barely listen to Trivium. Because they don't fill in the boots the way they used to, at least not for me. But these guys do.
These guys really
and I
do.
think if you could travel back in time and look at those early starts and how that band has developed, the sound and what they've done and how big they've become, these guys to me are on that same path to stardom, and that's how I see this band. There's no way these guys are going to be massive. There's no way these guys are not going to be massive. You know what I mean? And it's funny enough that they're playing with In Flames in North America because they're also going to be playing with In Flames at Summer Breeze in 2023. Both bands are... And Trivium. Those three bands have all been announced to be playing at Summer Breeze in 2023. So funny enough, they're all there. But if I had... No disrespect to anybody. But if In Flames is playing... The two new singles are really good. But anyways, if In Flames is playing... let's say if Trivium is playing and Orbit Culture are playing at the same time... It's not even a question in my mind who I'm going to see.
Yeah.
Not even a question in my mind. Not in the slightest.
Well, I mean, we've already seen Trivium too.
It doesn't matter. I could see these guys every day.
That's true.
We always talk about how bands have their signature sound that when you hear, you know it's them.
Oh, that first chug. I knew that first chug. It's just
who else sounds like that?
Who else?
Nobody.
Nobody.
That thick sound.
It's weird because at the start of almost every of their song, it does feel like there was this condensed ball and just a peak, and you hear that whistle of air coming through, and then boom, it hits you with the just chug. I don't know why, but whenever I listen, that's always the sound,
prototype.
The prototype. It's a sound I just hear. It's like a whistling amount of air is just escaping, and then it hits you.
But it's that sound that I hope they never change that DNA. That's their DNA. I don't care what else you do with the song, whatever you throw at me. In this case, in this track, that pause there was really, really cool. And the fact that you don't come back with a heavy breakdown, I really appreciate that because I think that's been done ad nauseum. So I like the fact that it didn't go down that path. It's also a song that doesn't have any clean vocals. So there's also a little bit of a change there from some of their latest videos that they released.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool as well. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit in this song. But the moment that track starts,
you hear that chug,
and then you hear that chug throughout the entire track. You're always reminded that you're listening to Orbit Culture. You're listening to Orbit. That's their DNA. That sound, it's so unique to them. Like I said, there's no other band that has that sound. And when you have that sound, now down the line, they're still a young band. They're still growing, and their fans are still jumping on the bandwagon, slowly jumping on the bandwagon. So maybe in the future they'll feel the need to change that sound, to change that chug, because it's like, oh fuck, every record sounds like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's a reason why fans are listening to you now. There's a reason why fans were listening to you before, and there's a reason why fans will listen to you tomorrow. That chug is integral. That sound, that specific DNA is who you are as a band. Everything else you can change, you can do whatever.
But that chug
sound
needs to stay.
That needs to stay.
Doesn't matter if it's a little bit of the chug. The chug has to be in every song. You have to have at least one chug.
I'm like,
it's
music to my ears. Literally, it's music to my ears.
It's what happened to Amon Amarth. They had their chug, and then you see what happened when they stopped using
This last album was chugless.
Chugless, and also it was mealess.
And toothless.
It was mealess because I didn't want to listen to it.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me. Even though I'm there's a band, I'm a big fan of that band too, but you know,
You have
some
your
ups and
signature.
downs, some ups and downs.
You have your signature. You have something that brings people in. Why take it away?
It's fucking good. I'm like,
And these chugs are just
so thick and
heart-stomping.
meaty.
Yeah.
They're so thick and meaty. It's like, it's like
But they're thick and meaty, but they have a good rhythm to them.
Yeah, they're not just heavy
For
or
the sake of
chuggy
being
for the
heavy.
sake of being
They
heavy.
have a sense of like purpose.
Yeah, they have melody in them. They have texture in them. They have substance in them. They're not just there like, okay, let's make this as thick, as chuggy as possible, and that's Orbit culture. No, there's a little bit more. They're like the Transformers. There's a little bit more than meets the eye.
Even meets the eye, yeah.
So I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. This song is no different. And this song, it was consistently heavy from start to finish. That pause there was, like you said, maybe the song didn't need it, but we needed it as listeners. We needed that. And when that happened, I'm like, are they going to throw one of those sucking your own dick breakdowns? Like, and I'm like, I hope they don't, because, you know, like, we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Let's hope they become a little bit more creative and they do something different. And they went in a different path, and it worked extremely well for the track. Fucking amazing. One last thing I want to say. I don't know if you want to add anything else. Are you good?
I'm good, yeah.
Can I add one last thing?
Yeah.
Watching this video made me realize something I didn't realize ever before, which is the latest movie from Predator, Prey. Fuck, they should have had Orbit Culture doing the soundtrack.
I mean, there's a lot of movies out there that should have had a little bit. You know, obviously metal is not as mainstream as it used to be, but I do feel like.
But that chug.
A lot of movies
when the Predator is chasing.
Dude, there's a lot of movies I watch where I'm like, fuck. There's a certain band that could fit the scene here
Perfectly.
Perfect. And it not only it adds just so much atmosphere to what's happening, but it also adds just, I mean, the chug here.
But you know why? You know why I'm not saying this just because I'm watching this, but I'm saying this because the Orbit Culture chug, in my opinion, has a very earthy sound to it.
Yeah.
It feels like it's coming from the earth. It's feeling like it's coming from below.
It also feels like something's rumbling.
Yes, totally. And that's why the Predator would be like when that scene, you're like, is he there? Is he not there? Is he coming? Like, you know, like those. You haven't seen Prey yet, but because Prey is also more earthy. It has more of a tribal aspect to it. It's not like they're in space or whatever. So it has more of a tribal feel. Because one of the things I always enjoy about Orbit Culture is they have a very, for a band that's not folk or Viking or tribal or whatever. They're not Highland.
I think for a band, I think the best one is for a band that doesn't do tribal music. The sound that they have,
they're not Soulfly. You know what I mean?
They're not Soulfly, but for some reason the chug and certain things that they do
and the drums
have a very earthy vibe to them. Even though they're not trying to do that, that's what it is.
Even though they're, you know, like they're not Soulfly, they're not Heilung, they're not any of these bands that have that tribal essence. You know, this is not Roots from Sepultura, nothing along those lines. But for a band that has nothing to do with that, their sound is always very earthy, very tribal, very very grounded. That rumbling, that brewing, that volcano that's about to erupt. Like, it's there on every single track, and that's part of that DNA, that chug DNA sound. Because when you hear that chug with the drums behind it, it's like something menacing is coming. It's almost like you're watching Jaws, but on land. You know, Sharknado.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I absolutely love it. This song is no different. Now imagine this live.
Oh.
In the front row at the Danforth Music Hall.
Definitely getting a knee to the head from some surfers.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy day. It's going to be a crazy... I think it's on a Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be a crazy day in Toronto that day. That day is going to be crazy.
Crazy.
It's going to be crazy. Are you going to wear your Orbit Culture t-shirt?
Probably.
All right, I won't. Because I don't want to be twinsies.
Don't want to be twinsies, yeah.
All right, on that note, guys... Let us know your thoughts on the band, on the video, on the single. Are you going to the shows? Are you hitting this North American tour? Let us know all that's in your gracious heart in the comment section below. And we'll see you folks at the next video.
See ya.